I'm George Stephanopoulos.
Welcome to 2020. Tonight we're covering a serious moment in history that could have ripped the Union apart.
Yes, indeed. In tonight's special edition of 2020, we're documenting the famous Whiskey Rebellion.
My co-anchor George had a special interview with Mr. Bradford, the great-great-grandson of John Bradford, the leader of the Whiskey Rebels, and John Smith, a descendant of a farmer that was part of the rebellion itself.
Yes, indeed I do. So, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Bradford, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Mr. Schmidt, how are you?
Yeah, it's not day in paradise. I'm doing well. How about yourself, my friend?
Doing good.
Okay, good.
Doing good.
Thank you.
Doing good. So, my first question is for you, Mr. Bradford. So, what version of the Whiskey Rebellion was passed down to you as a child?
Well, when I was little, my grandfather always told me this story. It was like he was proud of it. It's what gave our family its fame or infamy, depending on what you think. But the way he told it was that after we won the war, our country was in extreme debt. George Washington decided to put a tax on whiskey. The problem was that's how my whole family made its money. And with the tax, they made less money. And if I can remember right, the tax they put on it was 6 cents per gallon.
6 cents per gallon, my friend.
6 cents per gallon.
I know 6 cents was a lot back then.
That's what I'm making a day off a bushel of corn.
6 cents per
6
gallon.
cents.
6
per gallon?
cents per gallon.
My gracious. Continue. I'm sorry. Continue.
With the tax, they made less money. Anytime they distributed whiskey, that's where the tax happened. But after that, they thought the same thing that they thought after the Revolutionary War, that it was taxation without representation. They thought it was unconstitutional. So all the farmers got together and attacked the home of, I think his name was General John Neville. Neville came out and shot a protester
Shot him dead right there on the ground.
right there on the ground.
Oh.
Bang, bang? Bang, bang?
No, not really bang bang. I mean, they had like black powder rifles. They were one shot, so it couldn't really be bang bang. It was more like bang.
Oh, I see.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
But
Continue.
after that, the next day, farmers came back, burned his house down. And a little while later, U.S. troops showed up, and everybody ran. That's how it was told to me.
Interesting. So, Mr. Schmidt, how was it told to you?
I'm sorry, sir. What you say?
How was the story told to you?
Oh, it was told to me by my great-great-grandpappy. It's about the same as his story. A little different. This is how it's always told to me, like so. You see, my great-great-grandpappy, he's not a very wealthy man like myself. We'll work him in, try to make a living. But like I said, he make his living from a farming and a moonshining, like myself. My moonshine, my whiskey.
Whiskey?
Whiskey?
Do you mean say whiskey?
Whiskey.
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 Whiskey?
Whiskey?
What you trying to say, my
I'm trying to
friend?
say whiskey.
Whiskey?
You know, whiskey?
Whiskey?
Are you trying to say
Whiskey.
whiskey, like what you drink?
Like
Whiskey.
Oh, whiskey. Like what you drink?
Yeah, whiskey.
Whiskey. Okay.
Whiskey. Anyways, continue.
Before I was rudely interrupted, here we are. Like I said, he made his living by a farming and by a moonshine. But his main revenue come from his distilling of the whiskey.
Interesting.
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of customers down in Washington County in western Pennsylvania. Oh man, they say his whiskey was the best in all the land. The best in all the land. But like mine is, I got the family recipe. I'll give you some of that later, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You'll be buzzing off of that stuff in a heartbeat, my friend. Whiskey. But anyway, like I said, his whiskey was the best in all the land. But when Don old Mr. Washington and Mr. Hamilton, they decided to levy an excise tax on that whiskey, my grandfather, profits just plummeted.
Just went down? Just...
Right off the face of the earth, my friend, just plummeted through the floor. Boom. Yeah. Kaboom. But my grandfather's, he was mighty angry. Him and his fellow farmers that produced the whiskey, they made the living. He was mighty angry. They was mighty angry, and they said the tax was unconstitutional. It's just a way from the government to gain more power. That's how the government do today, my friends. They're gonna take over the world. They're gonna control our lives. Look at them. They're taking away our guns. I go hunt with.
They're just gonna take it all.
Take it all, my friends. That's what the only conspiracy theorist. That's what I'm about.
They're just gonna take it all.
Take it all. Take it all. Anyway, they're gonna gain more power somehow. But the government believed that it was their right to exercise a taxing by Congress. They thought it was their right that they could levy taxes by Congress. It was their first tax, I believe. I believe that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But anyway, I wasn't learned past the third grade, so I don't know what constitutional, unconstitutional means. I get the gist. But anyway, my grandpapa was so unhappy that he had joined a group of rebels led by Mr. Bradford, his great-great-grandfather, John Bradford. John Bradford, you know, great man. And so the rebels, they were so mad they went to John Neville's house and yelled till the cows come home. Yelled for him and his marshal friend to come out, and they want that tax repeal. They had the pitchforks and the burning torches and everything, my friends. But it was a sad day because Mr. Neville came out and shot up shot up one of my father's fellow protesters. Shot him dead right to the ground. Blood was going everywhere. You know, it caused the uproar, the biggest uproar you ever see. That's what my grandpa told me. I can just see it now, man. And the next day, they came back and I burned his house to the ground. They were so mad. They were so bad. They burned his house to the ground, ashes and all. But then, Mr. Washington, you know, he tried to assert his government power like they do, and he sent 13,000 troops. The rumor was they were sending 13,000 troops to put down my grandpapa in the Whiskey Rebellion. Crazy, Mr. Washington. You know,
That was very true.
It recognized the legitimacy of the government. Yeah, you like that word, legitimacy? Okay.
It's a big,
Yeah,
nice word.
But anyway, the legitimacy of the government was thrown that they sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, they moved. They had the power to put down oppression towards the government. After he shot them, and Mr. Washington was sending the troops. My grandfather not stupid, happy not dumb. He said, I ain't going back for no military. And him and his protesters, they up and spread out. They up and went. They're not dumb. They got common sense. We're not learning very much, but we got common sense not to mess with the old military. And that's how it's told, to me in this type of time, my friends. They burned the house down. Here comes the troops. They left. It's over.
Interesting. Well, I guess justice was served in 1800 when President Jefferson took office and repealed that tax.
Yes, it was served, but it wasn't served soon enough. 6 years is a long time to have to pay those taxes.
It is a very long
They
time.
lost a lot of money.
Interesting.
It's a darn long time. My grandpapa told me that General had a party that day that the tax was repealed. He said, Mr. Jefferson, President Jefferson, he was a downright hero in 1800 when he repealed the tax. And they had a jubilee. They go like this, like so, like this, and they're dancing. And it was a good time, my friend.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
Quite interesting. Well, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Bradford, I thank you for your time.
Wow, and that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yes, indeed it is. Now join us after the break while we cover today's breaking news story of the jihadist terrorist group covering an attack on Justin Bieber concert. Thank you, and see you after the break.
오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자 너는 선호해 낮에는 너만큼 따사로운 그런 선호해 커피 식기도 전에 원샷 때리는 선호해 밤이 오면 심장이 터져버리는 선호해 그런 선호해 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 hey. 그래 바로 너 hey. 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 hey. 그래 바로 너 hey. 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까
And welcome to 2020.
Put it like right here.
Thrown that they sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, oppression towards the government.
I see you've been using the word of the day toilet paper. I got you.
Oh man, I do that all the time.
That's you gave me the word of the toilet paper?
No,
That's how he knows all these words.
I bet it's got big words like you're wrong with this on it.
oh yeah, study of what is
Like
that?
Uranus.
Oh man.
Words have to go with digestive and toilet paper.
Anyway, here we go.
What are you doing?
Oh my God!
And go.
권력보다 사상이 올통벌통한 선어해 그런 선어해 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너
Police! Get out of the barn! Get out of the barn! He's got a stick!
What is happening?
Oh my god!
It looks quite interesting.
Look, he's speaking.
I didn't quite hear that. Can you say that again louder, Mr. Arnold? It is a wild animal.
Here, another one.
Coming from the other way.
Don't angry. It's a black bear.
Is it now?
I know these woods. I know these woods like the back of someone else's hand.
Like the back of someone else's hand? That means we're slapped a lot of the child? No. Where we came to?
This is my land. That's my deer stand over yonder.
I got a question. Why do you have power lines running through your field?
Yeah, well, you know.
You gotta remember, it is 21st century.
Does the government give you money for that?
Yeah, a little bit. That's anyway. Hey now. Yeah, y'all stay here now. I is going to go get some of my barley from a secret hiding place and present y'all. So, of course, interesting. I'll go with it.
Good evening, America, and welcome to
Good evening.